don't flag me for copyright for vaguely using the melody from the 2001 A Space Odyssey theme. Hello, and welcome to a very, very stupid intro. Why did I do that? I'm sat here in a room on my own with a lights up camera and microphone. Notes from a review that I just did, right? Doing that shit at 4 o'clock in the morning. I need to get a fucking grip. Is my microphone even on? It is. I'm tired. Let's get to it. Strange New Worlds. Science fiction at DIFA. 4 films from the East German film studio. And for my money, an incredible box set release. Yep, that's right. It's another video where I show off a box set of a whole bunch of films from Germany in the 1960s, released by Eureka as part of the Masters of Cinema series. And I haven't seen any of them and don't have anything to say about them, but I just say, it looks awesome. Oh wait, no, I have seen them and I have watched them. So yes, in a difference from my previous videos about the Mabusa Lives and the Wallace Krimi box set, I was so excited to get into these films that I watched all of them already. It took me about a week to get through all 4, which isn't a reflection on the films themselves. It's hard for me to watch films sometimes with my busy schedule. But I've watched all 4 of them, and I have something to say about all of them. And I'm going to review all of them. And I'm not going to post this video until I finish editing my review of the first film in the set, which is The Silent Star. So I filmed the review. It's a very, very long one. But I'm going to commit to editing it and getting it finished. So when you see this video, I'm going to post it like almost straight away. So you can jump right into my extended, full, in-depth thoughts on The Silent Star, which is a great film. But let's take a look at the box set. Go over to the chair and I can show you some of this amazing artwork because I love the design of this set so much. So we'll take a quick look at the kind of the artwork and the packaging and everything. And then we'll come back and talk a little bit about each of the 4 films, what I thought of them. And yeah, let's just get to it. So, Strange New Worlds, let's take a look. Okay, here we are. Strange New Worlds, science fiction at DIFA. I really just love this artwork, which I've probably already talked about, filming these 2 bits a little bit apart from each other, but I'm kind of just mesmerized by it. So we have the kind of, I think they call it the taco shell. I think I know that now. I was a bit perplexed as to what to call this backing card thing that holds the box set when we were talking about the Dr. Mabusa Lives set that recently came out. But on the side here we have the 4 films: The Silent Star, Signals of Space Adventure, Io La Mia, and In the Dust of the Stars. I like all the individual fonts and stuff. Spine numbers 310 through 313. Have the same on the front of the taco shell. On the side there, we get a space station from one of the movies. On the back, we have all the information, which summarizes obviously what you're getting in this box set. These 4 films made in East Germany from 1960 onwards. Interestingly enough, because I've talked about this before, like it'd be nice to get individual running times for these movies in the box sets. Finally we got it. So 93, 87, 82 and 96 minutes respectively for the 4 films, including each director, Kurt Metzig, Gottfried Kolditz and Hermann, I don't know how to pronounce that last name, Schoche? Not sure. But we don't have the years of release. I always get hung up on this. We don't get the years of release on these box sets sometimes. But yeah, there's so many things on the back here to go through, and we're not going to go through a thorough breakdown of absolutely everything. But that is the backing card, the clamshell taco J card thing. Everyone has a different name for it, I think, but obviously on the bottom there you got the DIFA logo, Eureka logo, all that good stuff that no one ever looks at, I would say. So it's a little bit snug, but if you take this off, you get the full view of this gorgeous artwork. Not even a title anywhere to be seen. I love how it wraps around the whole box as well. I think it's just such a cool effect, and the spine I think looks awesome. Really, really cool. I love that. What I really love is where it blends over to, oh my god, that is just gorgeous. let's just look at that and enjoy it. I think this is the space station from Iolomia, I think. I'm not sure. Because there's a couple of space stations in the movies themselves. But down here we have this little kind of pod encampment, which is on an asteroid in Iolomia. So that for sure is from that movie. But I just love this swirling piece and the way it goes all the way across the box set. And this is very much 100% the spaceship from The Silent Star. Such a cool design. And even on the bottom there, I just love it. It's one of my favorite art pieces, I think, on any Eureka set. So on the inside we get two Amaray cases and a booklet. So we're going to take a look at that now. So first up here we have The Silent Star. I mean, I'm just going to be a broken record. I think the artwork on all of these is fantastic, which were all done by Carly AF. And I particularly love how, again, it wraps around. And I'm going to take these out and show you like the actual inlays so we can get it without the glare. But I love how it wraps around and kind of allows for the text. And this is all on each version, because there's four, there's two cases, two inlays, but, four reversible choices. They all have the same blurb and all the extras listed on the back there. So it's all identical in terms of all this information on the back. So in here we have The Silent Star. It's a very cool image from the movie. And then on the reverse here we have the cover for Signals. And for this one, Iolomia. Again, as I said, different color schemes, but all of the same information. And we get a disc for Signals, A Space Adventure, and Iolomia there. And then we have a final disc for In the Dust of the Stars. And on the reverse we have the cover for that movie. So let's take a look at the inlays properly. Alright, so here is the inlay for The Silent Star. It's just such a moody image. I love it. I don't know, it's just... In a way it doesn't really fully fit the film either, in terms of the way the film looks color-wise, but this is kind of a memorable landscape from Venus in the film. You can actually see the lander vehicle there, very very small, but it's there. So just like all the details, and like you got the Omega robot, and yeah, the eeriness is captured. I just think it's a gorgeous image, really arresting, and probably the one I'll keep on the Amaray. And then on the other side we have Signals, A Space Adventure. I love the color of this one too, and kind of the distortion and the way that is kind of baked into the design there of the woman who is one of the women who is on this doomed mission, and where our kind of crew have to go and journey to the other side of the solar system to find. This is just really cool. I love that detail. So yeah, I don't know, really really cool. Whoever Carly AF is, she's incredibly talented. Then we have the inlay for Iolomia, which is one of my second favorite film of the box set. I love this image, kind of depicting a scene in the film where one of the characters is kind of sitting on this asteroid, just looking out into space, and those little kind of dots there, the formation, forms quite an important part of the film, I would say. And you can kind of just about see the camp where he stays on the asteroid, just here. So again, nice little details. And this one doesn't pop as much when you have it inside the case, I feel, because of the darker, tone of the piece, but I think it's a really strong one. And then finally here we have In the Dust of the Stars. Man, this is a great one too. I really like that. This is the leader of the mission that we see when they land on this strange planet. That is that's not their ship, it's one of the kind of the smaller ships that they take out on the planet's surface, and then that I believe is their ship. This here. But this captures kind of the landscape, I feel, of the planet where the film is set. And I just like the different colors and everything that's achieved with these 4 pieces. They're just absolutely gorgeous, not to mention the artwork on the box set itself. So now let's take a look at the booklet that comes with the set. So here is the booklet. Take a quick look into this. We have the nice shot there from Lumia, and we have the contents page. Even just that, like the font there, I really like. Like it's sci-fi-esque without going like too crazy into the sci-fi feel of everything. Actually, so we can just read from here. We have Alternative Futures: An Introduction to Deefa's Utopian Cinema by Mariana Ivanova. I'll leave that stumbling in for free. We have Blockbuster to B-Movie: The Making and Breaking of the Silent Star by Sebastian Hajduk. Space Adventures in 70mm, Signals and Eolomia Counter 2001 and Solaris by Sonia Frich. And then we have Deep Space Mine, get it? Experimentation, Liberation, and In the Dust of the Stars by Evan Torner. Is it Torner or Tarner? I can't quite tell because of the font, unfortunately. And the Silent Star Original Film Program, viewing notes and release credits. So a 60-page book here. And kind of an overview, an introduction to the utopian cinema, as these kind of films were called when they were released. Utopian realism adventures or something, I think it was. And then we have one on the Silent Star, one on Signals and Eolomia, one on, it covers each film. There's like a nice essay from different people, so different viewpoints and things like that. So kind of a page there for the Silent Star. No release date on here either. I would have said that would have been a nice touch to just add the release date. Signal's a space adventure. They do have the German titles, which I like, although with Eolomia it's a made-up word, so it's the same. And then finally, In the Dust of the Stars. So beyond that, we have Alternative Futures, and I'll probably have to blur that because there's a naked woman on it. But I'll just kind of flip through some of this stuff. We've got some nice images from the movies, a poster there. I like how the kind of color design of this has been laid out. It's very nice. And I look forward to diving into this, especially I think this one here about the Silent Star, because it's, I think, my favorite of the bunch. Oh man, that's awesome. I really like that layout. Very, very cool. So it might be the space station from Signals, actually. Some more images there. In the Dust of the Stars. I'm intrigued to see the the original film program. Sorry, I was looking at it closer than I wasn't looking at the camera viewfinder. That's pretty cool. So they kind of, I guess, replicate the text, and you can also see the scans of the film program. Very, very cool. I like that a lot. And then that's it. Rounds off at the end with a shot there from In the Dust of the Stars. And that is the booklet. And there we have it. As far as the actual packaging is concerned, I think this is an absolute winner. A gorgeous box set. Love the design. My only tiny criticism would be somewhere on the set to have the release date of the films. That's literally it. So it's like, as far as like if I was to rate the box set packaging out of it on a scale of 100%, it would be 99.98%. It's just that little, would like the release dates. That's it. Otherwise, just incredible job. 5-star packaging. Yeah, man, I love this image so much. I probably was saying that in the segment that I haven't recorded yet. So let's dive into the films a little bit. And because I haven't filmed the part on the floor yet, this is showing right behind the curtain. I can't remember. It's not even can't remember. It's I haven't done it yet, so I don't know what I'm going to say, and I'll probably forget what I've said in this part because I'm doing the next bit. Whatever. I shouldn't leave this in, but I'm going to because I'm feeling quite delirious. So, let's talk about the films a little bit. The Silent Star. I can't remember the years of release for each one. I know that The Silent Star came out in 1960. A really great kind of mission to space movie. It's about a crew, a multinational, international crew who come together in the name of finding the source and origin of this alien message that's arrived and landed in the Gobi Desert. And there were like reported explosions out in Siberia, I think, in kind of intervals over the years, and they wonder if maybe this is like shrapnel from one of those explosions that may or may not be a meteorite, and this rock, this strange cylinder, might contain a magnetic recording of an alien language, and they soon decipher that it's from Venus, and they send a crew out from all around the world. You got like a Japanese doctor, a Chinese linguistics expert, Indian mathematician, an American scientist. The captain is Russian. You got a Nigerian navigator. You got a Polish engineer. You got a German pilot and a partridge in a pear tree. It's just this whole big, multicultural cast. I really enjoy that aspect of it. Apart from, I think the Indian mathematician is just played by a European actor. Unfortunately, I don't want to laugh at that. It's not funny, but it's just like, they went so far getting like, a Japanese actress for for that character and a Chinese actor for the Chinese character. And when it came to the Indian, they're like, well, we'll just, dress someone up or whatever. And it isn't like like really garish or anything. That's a bad thing to say as well, isn't it? Sometimes you just feel like I shouldn't even go near the subject, But it's shit that they didn't have an Indian actor playing the Indian character. That's all I'll say. But it isn't like a caricature or it isn't like, I don't want to say it isn't super offensive. It is offensive in some degree. You can't win these days, can you? Anyway, I love the multicultural aspect of the cast of the film, but I just love the exploration aspect too. It's just, I've already shown you the individual covers, so I feel the need to have it in my hand as I'm talking about it. But man, I don't know. There's something about it that just awakens the child in me, the Silent Star. And once they get to Venus and kind of the eerie landscape and the feeling of the unknown, and there's a slight kind of push into psychedelic. There's like these swirling colors throughout the atmosphere and stuff. I really enjoy that stuff, and I loved the central theme of the film too, which for me I think is really about atomic fear and how the atomic age is really pressing on the idea of societies being able to exist or coexist with themselves. Because the film is very much pushing a kind of utopian ideal. Socialist ideal. I'll talk about that a lot in my individual review for The Silent Star, and the films in the box set having this socialist slant. But The Silent Star, I loved it. I loved the spaceship on the front, as I've already mentioned probably 10 times. And I love that of all the films that get kind of a featured image on the front of the box set, it's my favorite one. It is my favorite of the set, The Silent Star. Great stuff. The second film is Signals, a Space Adventure from 1970. This one is a very dry film, and it kind of whiplashes itself a few times, where it's just like there's an incredible sequence at the beginning where a spaceship that's on its way to Jupiter, it gets ripped up in the asteroid belt, and it's like the angles, the use of sound design, the editing, just this incredible sequence, and then boom, we smash cut to like a summer's day on a beach. And people frolicking, and there's these two guys walking on their hands next to each other, like canoodling each other's feet together. It's just like, what the fuck? I get the idea of here's like horror in space, and then here's the stark contrast of people being carefree and living a fun life on Earth. But it was a bit too fun. I think it was just such a whiplash of feelings, and I don't know. actions on screen. And but we get into this idea of there's going to be a crew sent to potentially rescue this crew who got ripped up in the asteroid belt. But the captain is the only one who knows that there may be a potential to rescue, but the rest of the crew, that as far as they're aware, it's kind of a repair or salvage mission. So the captain is carrying this kind of inner secret that there's more to this that they don't quite know. And if they knew the full truth of it, then it would maybe affect the way that they work. But there's a lot of special effects in the film, a lot of model shots, very slow, like, methodical, long shots. Not quite 2001 long, but like, it feels in that vein, like it's a bit more serious science fiction. Not that The Silent Star isn't serious, but it's I liked it. I've read people that they feel like it's a bit too dry for them, or that it's flat, and so maybe there's lacking in the character department. It certainly isn't as engaging as The Silent Star in the character department, but I really just enjoyed the designs of it all, and what's going to happen when they find this ship. And I really enjoyed Signals. It's not a great film, but I really enjoyed it, and the photography was great, I thought. Yeah, and I need to kind of flick through it again before I do my review of it and listen to the commentary and stuff. I'm really looking forward to that. But first impressions of Signals, I really enjoyed it, and just I don't know, that most of these films do have an element of mystery to them. I think most great science fiction films have a central theme of mystery. There's a mysterious quality to the story, but I enjoyed this one quite a bit. The Signals, A Space Adventure, and then the third film in the set is great. Oh man, and the pronunciation, as far as I can tell, is Iolomia or Eolomea, which is, it's a word that makes no sense because it is this word that's been kind of attached to this theoretical planet in, I presume, another galaxy. But I love the beginning of Iolomia, where there's this big kind of meeting of all these specialists and scientists and journalists talking about how there's a space station up in the solar system, and all the ships that they've sent out are just all boop, 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 missing. And so there's just all these crews just, it's like the Bermuda Triangle almost kind of thing. And I remember being in New York when the plane went missing, which I don't think they ever found. And just that, I remember sitting in the lobby of this, what was once the dirtiest hotel in America, where several murders had taken place, but I didn't realize until after I'd stayed there, which I'm glad. I remember sitting in the lobby, and there was just like this lobby frozen in time. I felt like I was in the 70s, and just everyone watching the TV, and just this, how many hours that this plane had been missing for. It was like 72 hours at that point, and it was like there's nothing, like no one knows what happened to it. It's a really unsettling feeling, and so to then place that into like space, and like 7 ships missing, and then they're talking about what we're going to do, and then we just got the word an eighth ship is missing, and it's like, what is going on? And then we learn this background about this theoretical planet called Eolomea, and there's all sorts of mystery baked into that too. And the actor who plays the man who delivers this backstory, he's really good. Looking forward to learning more about him, hopefully in like the commentary perhaps of the film. But he brings so much gravitas to the film, I think, in a way that I don't think anyone else does in all 4 of the films. He's like just a really great performer. Not that there aren't great performers in the other 3 films, but I just think he really stands out as kind of a performance of the box set for me. The guy who kind of has the backstory, and he's not really in the film that long either, but he is a central part of it, and he was one of the people who were looking out into space and kind of seeing this, again, this theory of this planet. And there's more to that, which I'll get into when I review the film, which I'm really looking forward to. I don't know, I enjoyed, and then there's also kind of parallel to that, there's another story that eventually works its way into the main narrative of these 2 men who are just on this kind of moon base kind of thing, but on an asteroid. And I just love the simplicity of it, just this very small set, the kind of, I don't know how you describe it, but kind of the bubble formation of the pods and stuff on the building. Claustrophobic, but It felt like throwback as well. I don't know. It felt like one of those really good episodes of like low budget science fiction TV in the UK. I don't know. It just had that feel to it where it's like, yeah, this ain't pretty to look at, but you have just put two performers in space, um, and you can make it work, and they really do. I don't know. I really like those two characters a lot. One of which is kind of a main character of the film. There's a lot of really strong female characters in these films too, particularly in this one. The main kind of figurehead of the story is a woman, and she is the one who is looking into what's going on, and she's tasked with ultimately going out and going to the space station and stuff. And I like how the threads throughout the film start to converge to a really good third act. I thought really enjoyed the film. Eel and me. I loved the film actually. It was my favorite along with The Silent Star. The fourth film and final in the set is In the Dust of the Stars. This is an interesting one. I think that, well, I'll talk about more in my full review because I have a lot to say about something I don't like about the film that they could have very easily, fixed, I think. It's to do with like a geography and a sense of space, because well, I'll get into it a little bit. So the film opens very abruptly, I feel like, where we have a crew in a spaceship and they've landed on this distant planet, and they're answering a distress call, and they meet this society of people who are very nonplussed about, oh, distress call, I don't know, like, well, we were testing some radio equipment a few years ago, but it wasn't a real distress signal. Well, you can just fly on back home, so we're all fine here now. How are you? Like, it's just this kind of, you feel like they're hiding something, they're stalling. And the captain of that crew, Akala, a woman, she doesn't trust something about it, and she doesn't want to leave just yet. The rest of the crew are kind of like, well, let's go, but there's something about it. And so you have the spaceship in this kind of desert location. When you get to like I don't know, the lair, I guess that implies a villainous sensibility. But when you get to well, that's the thing. I don't know what it is. I'm assuming it's underground because the layout or the design of the interior is kind of rock-like. So I'm assuming they're inside a mountain or something. So it's a fortress base thing. But you never see the entrance to it. And so you just see them go off in a little rinky-dink vehicle, and then suddenly they're inside this big set. And I just think the linking, the power of an establishing shot cannot be underestimated, in my opinion. And it felt like it was like my shoulder was slightly, I just kind of, I can't quite get it's a weird analogy, but like, it just felt a little bit uneasy that I didn't get to see the establishing shot of like just getting into like what's the outside look like. Because later on they go into this garden with like trees and stuff. I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, they could have solved this by having like maybe a matte painting with like a rooftop, I don't know, artificial forest or something on top of the mountain. I don't know. I just wish we had more of a sense of the geography of where this society lived and operated from. Otherwise, I really enjoyed the morality play aspect of it, which a lot of science fiction delves into, I think, is, moral quandaries and things like that. It felt kind of Star Trek in that sense, coming from someone who has seen hardly any Star Trek, I have to say. So this one was very, about human emotions, and, there are people who are in need on this planet, basically, and do we leave them or do we try and help them, and what's the right thing to do, and that kind of moral dilemma. I like that aspect of the film quite a lot. But I talk about psychedelic imagery on Venus in The Silent Star. This one has some really interesting set design. I can't even remember if the music really tied into that so much, but there's a moment where Akala meets the chief, who presumably is the ruler of this society, and it's such an evocative scene in this room of mirrors, and there's like heads in the wall, just these disembodied heads, and they're real heads, and it's like, what the fuck? It's really weird. And the chief has different hair in every scene, and he's very strange and eccentric and kind of, I don't know, I feel like he's an overtly sexual character, but maybe that doesn't, I don't know, maybe I'm reading into that too much. I just felt like there was something uneasy about him, like he would have lunged on her at any minute. I don't know, there's something really sleazy about him. That's the right word, sleazy. But I really enjoyed the mystery element of it, which it peels back fairly quickly because you kind of get to see the perspective of the society as well as the perspective of the crew. So they don't hold the mystery off too long in that sense. So you kind of you're shown the hand of the society, way before the crew is. But I really enjoyed it. It was good. Very strange, very of its time. I mean, if any of the films feel their age, this is the one that feels like a 70s movie for sure. But I really enjoyed it. There is an issue with the transfer, unfortunately. And I'll talk about that once I get to reviewing it because it's a it's a whole big thing that's been kind of kicking off. My feeling on it is that it didn't ruin my experience watching the film. I wish that the transfer wasn't the way it was, but overall, I'm really pleased with the way the films look. I will say I'm disappointed from the perspective of when it was announced. It was like, I forget which ones exactly. It'll say on the back here. All four films presented in 1080p from restorations by the DIFA Foundation. So Signals is presented from a new 6K scan of the original 70mm camera negative. Iolomea is presented from a 4K scan of the original 70mm camera negative, and then The Silent Star and In the Dust of the Stars are presented from 2K scans of the original 35mm negatives. So I was expected to be blown away by these amazing transfers, and I hyped it up for myself way too much. When I start seeing numbers like 6K scan of the 70mm, I was like, boing, like, like holy shit. And it didn't live up to that expectation. The best transfer, I think, is The Silent Star. But they all look very good. Even In the Dust of the Stars, I'll get into it at a later date, but I'll just say that it didn't ruin my enjoyment of the set, and that's come from someone who's really picky about transfers too. So it's one of those things where it's unfortunate that everyone is a lot of people are kind of annoyed about it, which is a shame because it's such a great set, and I feel like it's detracting from what is otherwise, I think, just a phenomenal piece of work as a home video release in terms of the extras, the films themselves, the packaging, as we've gone into and stuff. And I'm kind of halfway through all the extras now and just having a great time with them. So, yeah, there's always something, right? There's always something. But anyway, Strange New Worlds, science fiction at DIFA, this more than lived up to my expectation of what the films were going to be like and the supplements. And yeah, so I'll leave it at that. If you grabbed it, let me know what you think of all the films. I'd love to talk with people about, all four of the films in this set. And that's pretty much it. I'll leave it there. I've been waffling for long enough. You've seen the set from every conceivable angle, probably, I'm hoping, by now. And that's pretty much it. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.